Hi everyone, I'm Olivia, the host of the Magical You podcast by Catrice. Thank you for joining me today to talk all things makeup and mindfulness. As always, I'll be going through my makeup routine for the day, and as I do that, I'll be taking some time for a little self-care with mindfulness and reflection. On today's podcast, our theme is positivity. Now, this really is the perfect topic for me. I'm known to be a glass half full kind of girl. I generally look on the bright side of life and tend to see the good in situations and people. I know that's not always the easiest thing to do though. So time to get started on my makeup, and while I'm doing that, here's a little quote about positivity from the one and only Oprah Winfrey. Be thankful for what you have, you'll end up having more. If you concentrate on what you don't have, you'll never ever have enough. What I like about this is that it's saying focus on the good, not the bad, which is how I try living my life. Well, to make me feel extra positive for today's episode, I'm going for a joyful, bright look, something that makes me feel great about myself and excited to head out into the world. From what I can remember, I've always been a positive person. I've always had a more positive take on life. I do think that has helped me a lot in life and how I've developed and how I achieve my goals. I've always looked on the positive side, even though sometimes it's not all sunshine and rainbows per se, but I always tend to think in my mind, okay, positive thoughts, positive vibe. And I always kind of pride myself on, okay, I want to be that positive person in the room. I try not to be negative for long periods of time. There's nothing wrong with feeling negative thoughts or having a negative reaction to something. That's natural. But for me, I've always found that the positive side reflects my personality more, and it's just something I'm more drawn to. Now that we are prepped, I'm going in with foundation, and don't forget, always shake your foundation before using. And speaking about positivity and where might have my positive outlook in life come from, well, in that sense, it's kind of a bit of a mystery because in my family, I'm kind of, I wouldn't say the black sheep because that's not positive, but the bright sheep. My parents aren't overly positive people. So me just entering into the room and developing kind of into this really positive, confident person maybe it's just something that I was born with. And now just going in with some concealer under the eyes again. And really with positivity for me, I find that I always attracting people with a similar mindset. So I get on the best with other positive people. Sometimes I do enjoy being the most positive person or in the friendship group, but in general, I find I get on the most with people that have similar mindsets, and that can be something that you can take with you as well. Just because you might not be the most positive person, the key point of this is to find people that match your mindset on the same level as you, in terms of positivity, in terms of even mindfulness or the way you want to live your life. Surround yourself with people that you admire or that want the best for you. And most of the time, those are people that have a positive impact in your life. So for me, my friends are the most positive people in my life. It's always a feeling of joy, almost like playfulness when I'm with them. And that's what I look for in all my relationships. So then I'm just going to set with a little bit of powder next underneath the eyes. And it's actually really funny thinking back now, as I was actually referred to as the mother of my friendship group. It was kind of like a funny joke because I was the one that they came to for advice or if they just needed a fresh take on things. And I was also the most organized in the friendship group. So it was just a name that stuck, even though I think I was one of the youngest in the group. I think it's just important to have people that in your life that if you are positive or you need positivity, you need to attract the people that don't take away from yourself, rather that be people that only add to your life. We're now going on with the eyes, where we're going to use some fun pops of color. And I wanted to share with you guys really how I maintain kind of my positive outlook on life, and something I do still this day when I'm feeling more negative towards a situation, or I just need to like remind myself that things will always turn out fine and that everything will be good. So I have actually this technique that I think about the situation in the future of time. So for instance, if I'm really nervous about filming this podcast, right? Then I'm going to be like, okay, well, how am I going to feel about it next week? Well, next week I'll be done filming it and it'll be into post-production. Then how will I feel about it in 2 months' time? Well, in 2 months' time, it'll be live and it will be out into the world. So the feeling of nervousness that I'm feeling right now filming this whole podcast is going to be, it'll just be a thought or like a dot on how I'm feeling in 2 months' time. So I really take that into every aspect of my life. Where I'm feeling anxious about something, if I'm feeling sad about something, I always kind of bring time into it and say, okay, how will I feel in a week? How will I feel in a month? How will I feel in 6 months? And how will I feel in a year? And if I'm really stressing about something, it kind of brings everything into perspective about how will I feel in a year about this topic that I'm stressing about. And most of the time, it's like in a year's time, I'm not going to remember what I was stressing about. If it's a big life choice, of course, when I moved to Germany, I was stressing and I was like, okay, in a year's time, I'm probably gonna be more fitted into life in Germany. And it's really more of a positive way to think, because you taking the stress out of the present moment. And sometimes you can be like, okay, maybe in a 6 months' time, I'm not going to feel better. But that's, again, a negative outlook. And for me, I really excel when I try to think more positively. So for me, when I first moved to Germany, I'm going to say in a year's time, I'm going to maybe understand a little bit more German. I'm maybe going to be able to take the right bus and not get lost in this new city. And I think that technique for me gives a lot of perspective into what you're feeling. And it kind of allows you to think how maybe insignificant a small thing that feels overwhelming right now is. So it can be really overwhelming in the moment, but when you think about it in 2 weeks' time, 3 weeks' time, a month, 6 months, you really see how small and a small dot in your life it is. And I've been there where it's really overwhelming feeling of, am I doing the right thing? What is this all gonna mean in my life? And in that mindset, you can really just start overthinking every small thing you do. And that definitely was something I struggled with when I was moving to Germany, where it was, am I going to fit in to the culture? Am I going to be able to learn the language? Do I need to learn the language to do little daily things? I was constantly worrying when I first moved here that it would be hard. But with this technique, I really stuck with it. And at the end, I always thought, okay, it might be hard now, but in 6 months' time, in a year's time, I'll have it covered and I'll be looking back and be, what did I even stress about? So sometimes, don't get me wrong, the realities of life do kick in, and I'm not always going to be positive, or I'm not going to be in the most positive mindset. And that's just reality, but I think overall, I am a positive person that sometimes has negative moments. I also always think like, I don't really have a bad day. I just have bad moments in my day. But when I do have bad moments, it's not that I'm just disregarding them. I feel like it's always important to know and reflect that, okay, today wasn't the best day. It's good to acknowledge that so you can grow from it. But overall, I always tend to have my time of, okay, I'm not feeling the best. And then I slowly start to think more positively, or allow myself to move on from that. But it's definitely something that is important to acknowledge when you are having a negative time. It's not all, as I said, sunshine and rainbows. You can't just skip over life and say, oh, there's no negativity or there's no tough moments. I definitely have those moments too as a positive person. But in the end, I always find myself reaching for the positive aspects of the day, and I had a good day with some bad moments. And being an overly positive person, especially in my youth, it kind of sometimes led to me being naive, but I've kind of really grown from that. It's been a point of growth and learning. As when you're kind of young and naive in the sense and you try to be positive, you always think the best of people. You always, it's kind of a positive take on the world, and the reality of it is sadly not. So I have kind of been more let down in the sense when I was younger, thinking that everyone has the same mindset as me, or everyone will have a positive outtake and have the same thought process as I had. But it's definitely something I've learned from now, and I'm more cautious about that in my day-to-day life. And I acknowledge that you can't always be positive in every situation. I definitely take it with me as a learning curve as I've grown up. So, of course, there's been people in my life that have found maybe my positive nature maybe annoying, and maybe I come across fake sometimes. But to me, that is a part of me, and I won't apologize for my positivity or my positive nature. It's kind of that mindset of being unapologetically you in any aspect of life or anywhere you are. If someone says something about you, you kind of can't let it get to you. So my advice to you, if you've ever been told your positivity is annoying, fake, or too much, my advice would be to move on from it. Don't let it impact your day-to-day. Don't let it change you. You are the way you are. And it really is important to find people that add value to your life, add positivity, even if that's in a positive feedback kind of way. No one should make you feel like you doubt yourself. Going in with the brow product now, and it's my favorite product because it's all you need for your brows. So I also wanted to talk about how I kind of, in a sense, do a bit of affirmation even when I'm feeling my lowest. And it might sound funny, but even when I'm having a little cry or on my worst day, I sometimes say to myself, you're good, doing great. It's kind of my funny positivity side that comes out even in my worst moments. And it's always at the end of a good cry, I'm like, I'm great, I'm doing great, you're doing great, sweetie. Like I always, even in the times when I'm feeling my lowest, there's something about me saying to myself, me talking to myself, that always makes me feel a bit better. And in a sense, that is what affirmation is about. It's the small things like that can actually really have a big impact on how you move on from a negative situation or how you get closure in a sense. Okay, now we're going in with bronzer, and referring back to the quote, positivity can just be as simple as being thankful for what you have in your life, being thankful for the little things. It doesn't have to necessarily be this big outlook, like big positive outlook in life. It can be with the small things and being grateful and thankful for what you have in life already. And I would really encourage you guys to just try being a little bit more positive in that sense, rather than making big changes in your life to be more positive. Start with the small things, being thankful for the people in your life. Maybe you can just start by being the more positive friend, or being grateful for each day as it comes. And then who knows, maybe from that small changes in your life, you can then move on to being a more positive person in general. Next, we're going in with the hollow highlighter, which If you are a listener, this is again the moment you need to tune in to watch the video version of this podcast, because this highlighter is super special. It is called Beam Me Up, which in terms of positivity is very fitting for today's episode. And I feel like highlighter is also a product for me that is kind of the perfect fit for the theme of positivity. Highlighter and glitz and glamour, kind of a glamorous look, is always something I reach for when I need a little boost of positivity in my day. So if you see me with blue eyeshadow or if you see me with glitter, it's probably because I needed a little boost at the start of the day and I needed some extra positivity. For lips, we're going in with a sparkly lip gloss, once again bringing in the sparkle for positivity. But I also just wanted to give kind of a tip for positivity, and it's a really simple one, is to, at the end of the day, choose one positive thing that happened to you. For example, for me today is the whole positivity of doing this podcast and my journey of mindfulness. It can be the weather. It can be you wore your favorite shirt today. It can be you had your favorite snack. It can be something super simple. And listing that one small thing every day can really impact your overall mindset to be more positive. I hope my insights on how I stay positive are helpful to you and made you think about how you can bring more positivity into your life. To start that off, we're going to do a meditation that really focuses on feeling calm, stepping away from negativity, and allowing positivity to flow through. You want to be in a calm, quiet space where you're not going to be interrupted. Maybe sitting on your couch or bed. Make sure you are comfortable and can relax. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths in through your nose and out through your mouth. Really concentrate on your breathing and try not to think about anything else. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Now with each inhale, imagine breathing in positive energy and warm light. With each exhale, release any doubts or negativity, dark clouds that might be weighing on your mind. Visualize yourself wrapped in a glow of optimism, like it's a warm blanket. Allow yourself to bask in this positive energy and carry it with you throughout the day. I'm definitely feeling more positive now, and I just know that I'm going to have a great day. Now all I need is a spritz of setting spray, and I'll be ready to spread positivity into the world. Thank you for joining me for this episode of the Magical You podcast by Catrice. It's always great to hear your thoughts, so let me know if the meditation helped you feel extra positive today. Just a reminder to join me again next Tuesday when we're talking life fulfillment with a quote from Albert Schweitzer. Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you're doing, you'll be successful. I hope you have a fantastically positive day.